Okay, Manveen, it sounds like Keir Starmer, he stole my line. Energy security equals national security. But is this even a feasible plan? I mean, how close do you think we are at this point to a Labour government?
I think a lot closer than we were even 2 weeks ago. I mean, the polls have never looked so good for Labour. They're the highest they've been for 21 years. And, you know, an idea like GB Energy, which, to be honest, I think a lot of the country would have sort of balked at a few months ago. You know, the idea of sort of we've had a real trend of privatization here. So sort of bringing a company like that into public ownership would have been controversial. Suddenly, because of energy security, I think people are much more alert to the potential benefits of this now. So that speech has gone down very well at a time where obviously the markets are tumbling and confidence in the current government is at an all-time low.
Yeah. And just speaking on the purely economic perspective at this point, I mean, how worrying is it that you're seeing this happening in the pound just a few weeks after this lady's taken office?
I mean, it's utterly alarming. There were predictions, obviously. Rishi Sunak, who stood against Liz Truss, had warned that there would be a run on the pound, that gilt markets would be up, that we'd be paying much more to service our debt if she became Prime Minister. But I don't think anybody expected it to happen quite so quickly. I mean, just yesterday, Bloomberg were estimating that British markets, this has taken $500 billion worth of a hit since Liz Truss has come to power. But confidence now, obviously, has been completely shaken by this budget that Kwasi Kwarteng unveiled a few days ago. And since that budget, there have been more hints that there will be more fiscal easing, that there will be more tax cuts coming, no sign of how they're going to be funded or how they're necessarily going to benefit the country. And, you know, a lot of this it's a huge gamble that we're somehow going to trigger economic growth to the level where it's going to pay for itself. But this is very untargeted. This is possibly the biggest experiment ever done on trickle-down economics. There is no sense of this targeting, particular businesses or particular regions or working out what the biggest problems are for businesses here at the moment. You know, if people want to grow their business, I think having incredibly high interest rates, which is what the market is now pricing in, is going to be a much bigger problem than tax rates, which weren't really sort of affecting business decisions. So it's an enormous gamble, and not many people can see how this ends well at the moment.